Well, all right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dowell. I do have, I ain't going to call it breaking news because what it's going to do is just going to break a lot of youth in the country. It looks like that America is beating the war drums again. And how they doing it this time? Well, they're doing it because Israel has a problem with Iran. And what's the problem? Well, Israel has been flying drones, spy drones, over the waters, international waters, and that they, over international waters in Iran, and Iran spotted the drone. It's an unmanned drone. And so Iran told them that, you need to stop flying these drones spying on us, because basically what they're doing is they're probably enriching uranium. After all, it's amazing how the European countries all have a right to defend themselves. They all have a right to have nuclear capability. But Iran, Africa, all the melanated countries in the world don't have a right to have nuclear arms. But anyway, Iran shot the drone down because they've been spied upon. Can you blame them? And so Israel is using this as a prelude to war. And of course, Lindsey Graham gets his butt up and parades himself up in front of the camera, basically telling you that if Israel goes to war with Iran, and guess what? We're going to be right in there in the mix with them. Now, if you go and Google this and you put it on the map, all right, go check it out on the map. You have Iran is like right here. Go and look and see how many United States military bases, American bases, that surrounds the country of Iran. Go check that out. And then go and look and see how many bases Iran has surrounding the United States of America. You're going to be appalled. But I don't understand for the life of me. Now, here is where spiritual truth comes into play. I don't understand for the life of me why America has so much of a fetish with this state called Israel. I don't. I understand that they're called allies. Well, damn, I guess Ukraine is our allies too, because after all, we send billions of dollars to them over there to help them fight against Russia. No, we're not actually boots on the ground there ourselves, but funding them and giving them our weapons and stuff is just the same. After all, they ain't even in NATO. What is going on here? But I'm going to give y'all a real true education that so-called Judeo-Christianity is not going to tell you. The Christian church is not going to tell you. News media is not going to tell you. The people that occupy that land of Israel right now are not the true Jews or the true Yehudim that you read about in the Bible. All of those people were melanated people, every single one of them. And Jesus was not white, period. And of course, today they like dressing it up by saying, well, he was Middle Eastern. Well, what did the East look like prior to the Roman occupation when he went down there and ran blitzkrieg over that whole area and rape, rob, murder, pillage, the whole 9 yards? Just a Viking blitzkrieg. What did the East look like prior to that? Well, again, we have critical race theory. We have everything that wants to confuse the matter and then do away with history because they want people to think a certain way. Because if you don't know history, you're going to definitely repeat the same mistakes of the past. That's why I often come on here and give us a constant reminder of history again and again and again and again and again, because there's nothing new under the sun. The thing that was, it shall be, and it will be again. And if you continue to keep on passively staying in a normalcy biased state right here, thinking that nothing's going to change, it's always going to be the same, and you're going to be up in trouble. So here it is. Those people that occupy that land right there are actually Northerners. Northerners that got kicked out of Russia, ended up in Germany, and then along about in, I think it was 1948, there was a Balfour Agreement. And in that, the League of Nations got together and took all those people and transplanted them and put them in that country called Israel. And you think that because they're named Israel, you get confused thinking that these people are the people of the Bible that we read. which could be nothing further from the truth, because the scriptures, the Bible teaches us that Yah's chosen people are going to be scattered throughout all this earth until the king comes. And so people in Judeo churches are deceived to the max. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. That country over there, and I know because we have people who were born in that country that speaks fluent Hebrew, that lived in that country, that had children in that country, that knows the history of that country. And they tell me I'm spot on, and they now live here in the United States of America, and they're in Straitway ministry. So don't try to blow no smoke up my hindquarters, because I know the truth. But it's amazing because we say over here in America that we love Israel. Yet Israel does not love our Messiah. Think about that. You can't even become an Israeli citizen until you say the words to deny Jesus Christ. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Yet, all these Christian churches got you believing you should support Israel. Now, if we tell you who real Israel is you're supposed to support, you can forget about it. It ain't going to be done. I can tell you that right now, because real Israel is not seeing no support from these so-called people of the world who say that they're supporting false Israel. So we're sitting up here in utter confusion because we live in America that says reject the law, but accept the Messiah or Christos. And then the country Israel says reject the Messiah and accept the law. Well, which one is it? It sounds like utter damn confusion to me. I mean, think about it for a second. So these mental gymnastics is constantly played over and over and over again because people refuse to be a student of history. People don't want the truth about anything today. They actually really truly think that if they stay in a state of deception and if they keep their head in the sand, that they will not be responsible for anything, that we can keep our little utopia. But that's the problem right there. You see, how in the world can we set up and continue to keep sending billions of dollars to Israel every single year? And let me ask you, what benefit do we get for supporting that country over there that the League of Nations created and made in 1948? What benefit do we get? I mean, because they hate our God. They hate our Jesus Christ. They hate our Yeshua HaMashiach. They hate him with a passion. Can't stand him. And these people are not the people of the book. They are imposters protesting and acting like that they are the people of the book, but they're not. They're not. They're simply not. All you have to do is read the Bible for yourself. But no, people would rather be deceived, rather be, going to church every Sunday and get tanked up on lies and fairy tales, and then live in that and actually think that when the breath go out of your body, some way, somehow, you going to heaven. Boy, that's some deception I cannot believe in the world. It's something else. But I can tell you one thing. In the ministry where I preach, we definitely, and mind you, we got a lot of veterans, a lot of war veterans and veterans in this ministry. And I'm talking about some high-level warriors. And I make no apologies about making sure that our children will have nothing to do with the United States military whatsoever at all. Nothing. They're not going to have anything to do with the military. Because our children are not going to go to another land and die or get shot at or possibly die and get killed for these warrantless wars. These wars that Congress never declares. I mean, it's off the chain what's going on today. But this world does not want the truth. And you wouldn't believe how many people, pay attention to the comments and see how many people get upset at this particular video, even though they cannot debunk any of the facts that I'm putting out in this video right here. So America's beating the war drums again. You can tell they're getting antsy because the military-industrial complex can't make money because we're so damn broke today. They can't make money unless we actually get in war, because war is big business. It's big business. And so that's the reason why you seen Pelosi go over there and mess around with China. That's why you see us over there funding Ukraine. And How's Europe liking it right now? All the sanctions that they put on Russia, Russia's still doing fine. And guess who's hurting more than anything? Guess who's hurting more than anything? The Europeans are. Winter is coming. And boy, you better be. And I ain't talking about Game of Thrones either. Winter is coming. And boy, some people are going to die a horrific death this winter, freezing. Now, another thing is, ain't we in the middle of hurricane season? Where are all the hurricanes that usually be ripping up the coast about right now? What's going on? Huh? Pastor Dowell, do you really want hurricanes to rip up the coast? No, I don't. But, I mean, all these years, you can expect around this time, we would have had at least 4 or 5 hurricanes. We would have probably went from A almost halfway down the alphabet by now as far as hurricanes going by now. But we don't hardly hear nothing, do we? Nothing at all. What's going on? I know you people are upset, though, because your religion has lied to you. Your mom and daddy lied to you. Your grandpa, your grandparents, your grandma, all of them, they all lied to you. You continue to keep lying, and then you're going to teach your children lies, and you expect to be free even though you're teaching all your children lies. It's just amazing. And, of course, I remember what Jesus said. If you're going to stand for the truth, you will be hated of all men for my name's sake. That's how I know I'm in the truth, because I'm hated for telling the truth. Whoever thought, man, what kind of demons and devils that are steeped down inside the very soul of man that people would get so stirred up with murder and rage that they want to hurt and harm someone for telling them the truth. I mean, after all, if I'm lying, let's open this up for some dialogue publicly. But if I'm telling the truth, as the old saying goes, some of y'all going to have hell to pay. Welcome to the University of the Painful Truth. My name is Pastor Dowell. I'm the dean of this university. Consider coming over my Patreon channel and checking it out, but I had to get this out this morning.